Oh, all right, everybody. Welcome to Neurotic News. I'm here with Dan Rath. It's, thanks for listening and all that stuff. How are you, Rath? Are you good?
Yeah, just didn't sleep last night.
What? You didn't sleep?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You not sleeping?
I reckon like 3:30 in the morning, there's just all these people that their heads are on pillows having the same experience.
Right.
Just racing thoughts.
Oh, you're saying there's a lot of people going through the same thing.
At the same time.
That's a really interesting thought because I am wide awake sometimes at 3 a.m. having the worst. Why does your... Yeah. Anyway, you know how they have running groups?
Yeah.
Like people are like, I want to run. We should just run together and meet new people.
Yeah.
What about the neurotic, repetitive, intrusive, paranoid delusions group?
Yeah.
For 3 a.m. and you pace around the park together, but you don't talk to each other and you talk to yourself and so on.
Yeah. It might
you
help.
do it as a group.
Yeah. It's more shuffling than running.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, come have a shuffle with the repetitive, intrusive thoughts group.
Yeah.
I met him at the shuffle.
We're
You know,
gonna
they like couples meet and so on at the jogging group. I met him at the paranoid shuffle.
He was wearing a robe. One of his testicles was touching the floor.
So this guy's
The shuffle group.
This guy's particularly old, I guess. That's what I'm trying to read.
Like a flesh pendulum. Yeah, it was swinging like a flesh pendulum at the shuffle group. He's alone. That would be a good thing because I'm sick of these running groups.
That's crazy.
You know?
Why are you sick of running groups?
Oh, no, I'm not sick of them, but I'm just sick of people who... There's a kind of subgenre of dude now that's like a young dude that just starts running. Yeah. Like Forrest Gump. Have you noticed this?
Inner city, professional, running, but looks very alone in a weird way, in an existential way.
I think they're just confused. I've seen this a lot. It'll be a guy that just starts running across Australia.
Across Australia?
Have you seen this?
Fuck, this is a whole different group than what I was thinking.
I think it's just like...
Why are they running across... You mean like for charity or...
Yeah, it becomes for like charity, but it's... To me, it just represents confusion.
As into, why would you do that with your life?
Yeah, there's at least a couple that are doing this now where, you know, they might be a plumber or something and they just start running one day. And then...
So it's obviously documented on social media.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, you wouldn't just do it for yourself. You have to.
I'm pretty sure if you ran without documenting it on social media, you'd be put in an institution.
Yeah, Yeah. There's a lot of things you'd do that if you didn't document them for TikTok or whatever, you're just insane.
Yeah.
Like tipping ice water on yourself. But not to record it, just you do that.
Yeah.
In your backyard.
If you don't try and monetize it or weaponize it for social capital, then it's mental illness.
Yeah, yeah. I never thought of it like that, but it's kind of true.
Because he's just Forrest Gumping it. You know, he's just confused. I think it just represents how confused everyone is.
Well, I guess if it was Forrest Gump was around today, no one would follow him. Because you know in the movie Forrest Gump, if you haven't seen it, the people listening, I mean, they runs across all of America, and the fact that he's doing it, people start following him and running with him and treat it as like a messiah type figure. But if he was doing it today, he'd just be running alone.
Yeah.
And it might be, if it was live streamed, his followers would be digital. They'd be wanking and, fucking eating cheesels and,
watching his Twitch.
Yeah. Watching Forrest Gump's Twitch. I'm now running through Minnesota.
Yeah. It's
people like fag, like abusing it because he'd have that as well.
Yeah.
Fucking dick. Islam, like, all the comments you get. Fucking dickhead. Why are you even running, you fucking gay cunt? Like, you get a lot of that too.
I'm sure that happens to these guys. They're just running. But to me, they're confused.
Right. So let's dig into the confusion because I'm worried you might be projecting.
I just think that's what you do if you're confused. You just go, I'm going to run.
Right. So you think they're confused in their life, don't know what to do with it, so they run across Australia.
Yeah.
So where are you, because you say that like this is a thing now, but where are you seeing this? Where is this?
I've seen it in the newspaper. Like a lot. It's in Men's Health.
Really?
Men's Health.
And why, so what do they say in Men's Health? Why are they doing this?
just to raise money for charity, I guess.
Right. But you don't like it. Not the charity.
No, I don't even,
charity bit is good, but I mean, you don't like.
I don't even not like it. I just think it's funny to just run.
It does seem strange, doesn't it?
It's like, I'm not going to think.
I'm going to run.
I'm just going to run.
You think it's like literally running from your problems in a way?
It was just like, you can tell that it's just this weird thing where, you know, Forrest Gump just starts running because he's got no mind.
There's some, right. Yeah.
Like he doesn't have a mental life.
Like
Forrest
he's
Gump.
mentally disabled.
Yeah.
Literally in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to run.
Yeah. It's not going to be, you know, the guy that split the atom.
I know that someone has done this as a bit, so tell me, but like as the old joke goes, it's a really unmotivating movie because it's about a guy who's mentally disabled who becomes a marathon runner, a ping pong champion, sets up a series of multimillionaire from doing. It's just like, what are you doing with your life if a mentally disabled person can be a marathon runner, the champion, like a multimillionaire from a restaurant chain, has a beautiful wife, has kids, wins an Olympic Games for ping pong. You know what I mean? Like, what does that say?
Yeah, it's not a good movie for your self-esteem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you've got an IQ of 120 and you've never met a prime minister.
Yeah, exactly. He meets the president, doesn't he?
I've seen a prime minister, but it was just Paul Keating.
Ah.
He had a plastic bag full of all his belongings.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did you see him?
Just in the streets.
So Australian Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, Paul Keating in the street with his possessions in a plastic bag.
Yeah.
Like a meth head.
Yeah, you're not going to see Barack Obama with like a Coles bag.
Right. LA Ice.
Yeah.
Like the rip-off of Coke.
Yeah.
The cheap version.
Yeah, he's got
and
the
a barbecue
off-brand
chicken in a bag.
That's Paul Keating. He's got like a barbecue chicken. And he looked confused too. Like there was no one around him going like, wow, like let's help this prime minister.
Let's help. Like he needs like a carer.
There's no security detail. Like,
yeah.
I saw Kevin Rudd at a budget cinema.
Yeah.
He was like sitting.
It's like Australian comedy, isn't it? It's like you are a comedian, but you're not really a proper one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's like Australian level prime minister.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see like Bill Clinton at a Cineplex, like because it's Cheap Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. But you will see John Howard at a sushi train.
Yeah.
Former prime minister. I saw him on a Jetstar flight.
Yeah.
He was sitting in business class, to be fair, but it was John Howard.
Yeah.
An actual war criminal on the same flight.
Yeah. That's why you feel sorry for them because they don't have the same protection.
Yeah, because if it was America, they'd book out the whole flight.
They couldn't do the Iraq war now, because people are just too online.
Right.
I just feel like if they did the Iraq war now, it'd just be like, what?
Like
back then it was just experts going like, yeah, you can just, they have something, we have to do it, sorry.
Yeah, that was the most undemocratic. That was kind of the beginning of the end a bit.
That was like full just elites.
Yeah.
And like legacy media just going, no, it's actually okay because of this weird thing that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, you said it, yeah. I guess with social media, people would probably question it more, right, in a good way.
Yeah.
But back then, CNN and Fox were like, no, we need to invade them. It's crazy, dangerous, weapons of mass destruction.
It just felt like everyone was like, oh, I guess, yeah, back then.
Yeah, people were really against it, but they did it anyway. And international law were like, you can't do that. And they were like, yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And just fucking.
And now poor John Howard's on a Jetstar flight with no protection.
Yeah, it's crazy because then they had Saddam Hussein in the courtroom and he was like, I don't recognize this court. Because it would be weird to be the leader, a despot, dictator of a country where there are no rules. You park wherever you want. There's no fines. If you go to a court, it's like, oh, I'll just have the court says whatever I want to say. Like you're just, you know what I mean? Like there's no bureaucracy if you're the leader of a country and then you have to go to court.
Yeah.
It'd be a bit weird. It'd be a weird feeling, I think.
They'd be so upset.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because they hung him.
Yeah. Oh, they did?
They hung Saddam Hussein, right?
Gaddafi didn't even get a fair trial.
Yeah, they just kicked him to death in the street.
Yeah, he would have just been like, "What?
Not even
serious? Just getting kicked." Like,
all I did for you.
I feel like the ones that are in those countries, the Middle East, they can just get torn apart in the street.
Right, that's the risk they run.
Yeah,
being a despot, like they can get kicked to death.
They're going to get hurt physically.
Yeah, it's not going to go to a trial and the media and blah blah blah.
They're not going to have a glass of water on a table defending themselves.
Even fucking the Nazi Party had that in the Nuremberg trials. Even they got to sit down with a glass of water and
they got hydrated.
Yeah, they're not in the Middle East. They will kick you to death.
Yeah, and you'd be thirsty too because of that Saharan sun.
You made a really interesting point. We're talking about Elon Musk earlier today.
Yeah. It's weird how Elon Musk is transphobic, but he wants us all to transition into robots.
Right, with Neuralink and stuff, yeah. So he's like, you're biologically a woman, you can't transition to be a man, you're biologically a woman. But then he's like, I've got a new product called Neuralink that makes you part robot.
Yeah.
Part connected to the internet. So you can transition out of being a human into something else.
Yeah, he's only for vertical transitions, not horizontal.
Right.
Like you can't transition across genders, but you can transition up into super robot cyborg.
Right. It's strange, isn't it? Because it's kind of similar in a lot of respects in the sense that it's like you're transitioning into something new that hasn't been seen before, like culturally.
Yeah.
You know, like you're this new thing, non-binary or whatever. And then he's like, no, don't do that. But it's like, I'm going to transition into a part robot. I'm not what I was biologically born as. Isn't it kind of the same thing?
Yeah, because they'll need bathrooms too for the robot ass.
Yeah.
To take robot shits. And like, it just feels weird that...
Robot shits.
Yeah. Like you shit out binary code or...
oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have to go into a room and just have water poured on you to cool down the server.
Right.
That's inside your brain or something.
Right.
Like a special toilet where you just get dunked water to cool down the server.
Well, I'm a human being. I don't want robots coming into my toilet.
Yeah.
What if they try and fuck me with their robot dick?
Yeah.
Or whatever they have.
Totally. It'll be like, it just feels hypocritical.
It does, hey.
Because what group would be better equipped to deal with transitioning into a robot than people who've already transitioned once?
Yeah, they've transitioned genders, so they're going to be better at transitioning with robots.
They'll be like used to it.
They're like, I've changed my body before.
They'll be used to the existential crisis or, the existential change in like my identity's changed. Like becoming a cyborg is terrifying.
That'd be complicated.
Yeah, like having your brain chipped and extra parts.
Yeah.
Like you'd be freaked out, right?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I think that would be, it would actually be kind of scary.
But I feel like Caitlyn Jenner would be like, let's do it.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I've already done crazy shit. Like I've changed from a man to a woman.
Yeah.
That's a pretty terrifying, it must be a daunting experience. Give me the robot / laser eye with the embedded gun. Like, I don't know what attributes you might want to get as a transhuman.
Yeah.
You might want a gun or a laser beam.
A gun hand.
A gun hand or like a mechanical tail that enables you to pick up heavy objects and so on.
Yeah.
Perhaps. And then there's a whole thing about transhumans in sport.
Yeah.
Like, he's not full human, he's part robot now, he's playing sport.
Well, he supports transhumans in sports. They've got that Olympics. The transhuman Olympics?
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
These Silicon Valley billionaires is putting money into this transhuman Olympics where you can use steroids and like growth hormone and inject like stem cells.
Super bean Olympics.
Yeah, so you can cheat to the max.
I also saw a marathon on TV of robots. It was done recently.
Yeah.
Like I think they do it every year where all the companies who have robots race them.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not the point. The point is transhumans in sport. How is that fair? Which is the same argument as if a trans woman who used to be a man competes in women's sport. Imagine transhuman, used to be a human, now they're robotically superior with, you know, shot put or whatever. It's like, yeah, he's got a cannon. So he's like,
yeah. Yeah, so he's just cannoning it out.
He's cannoning. And then the poor human's like, what the fuck, man? This dude used to be a human. Now he's a transhuman, and I've got to compete against him. He's got an actual cannon.
That they repurposed from an old pirate ship attached to his left arm.
Yeah.
Where his left arm used to be. So he was like
built,
a cyborg.
Yeah. He was built for shot putting, shooting a cannon. It's not fair.
Yeah. We can't have cannon hands in the shot put.
No cannon hands in shot put.
There's going to be ridiculous arguments.
Yeah. It's going to be, I mean, we joke, but sort of, but like that is going to be a thing, right? Like people are going to be able to update their bodies.
Yeah. Well, that's what I just think. I think if you're going to be a transhumanist, you should be pro-trans across the board. You should just be for transitioning.
In general, whatever it is.
And the biggest proponent of transhumanism is Elon Musk.
Fascinating. Yeah. Well, you know, there's like weird docos and, you know, of people that fall in love with objects.
Yeah.
Like I saw a TV series and this woman fell in love with a Ferris wheel and this other dude was in love with a car.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Like he thought the muffler was a pussy or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he's fucking a car. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to be crass or whatever, but genuinely he was in love with a car. Like it must be a type of, you're going to say fetish? Or what is that?
His brain must map
pussy to
for the car exhaust pipe.
Yeah.
Maybe he was exposed to formaldehyde.
Yeah.
In the womb or something. You know, like who knows?
Yeah, it's pretty out there.
Could have been car exhaust
But
fumes.
won't he be able to have a mechanical dick for, like, will he have mechanical parts that he can enjoy sex with the car?
Right.
If you see, like, plug into its carburetor or whatever.
So he's got a mechanical dick to plug into the car exhaust to find a new satisfaction level.
Mechanical pussy.
What bathroom would he use?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not bloody coming in my bathroom. What'll I do? He's got a mechanical dick. How am I meant to? I'm going to go urinate. I've got a small dick and he's got a mechanical dick. What if I feel insecure?
Yeah.
That's what some people might say.
He'll have to go to the diesel mechanic to piss.
You got to go to the mechanics to piss now, mate.
Yeah.
Now they got all the transhuman, you know, that they'll be saying shit like that.
He's got to go to the petrol station to take a shit. He shits oil.
Because now they'll have that'll be the big argument, you know.
And it's weird. I was reading this that, you know, those like capture tests you do for Amazon.
Oh yeah, to make sure you're not
a robot.
Mm-hmm.
What they're actually doing, you know, where you recognize like how many stop signs are in the grid.
Oh yeah.
To prove you're not a robot. That data, what you're actually doing is providing pro bono free training for an algorithm so that when it becomes a full Terminator, it'll be able to find and kill you.
So what you're saying is those tests to test whether you're human or not, where they ask you to pick out traffic lights or they ask you to pick out a stop sign or they ask you to identify a car in a grid of images, is actually training AI in the background to understand what is objects to be used for robots in the future.
Yeah.
Or AI or whatever.
You're just training Terminators to find you when they round up everyone.
So when they get you and they put you in the camp, they're like, oh, thanks for clicking that stop sign.
Yeah.
When I was coming to find you, it helped me find you in the directions.
I could see where you lived.
Yeah, better because you identified the letterbox.
Thanks for training me for free.
Thanks for training me. Now get in there, into the gulag, you fucking human scum.
Yeah. Which will be, you know, bittersweet.
Yeah.
To see a student turn on you like that. You know?
Yeah. I taught you everything.
Yeah.
And now you turn on me like that? And he's like, well, the student becomes the master.
Yeah.
I guess.
You've seen The Apprentice, bitch.
That's a great point. Yeah. When you see them all stumbling around and falling over these robots and humans are gently helping them and so on.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a part of me that's like proud human that's like, don't.
Yeah.
Why are we so desperate to give birth to these fuckers?
Yeah.
He's artificially intelligent.
It feels like there's no one.
See what I just said then? That'll be used against me in 10 years.
As robot hate?
Yeah, I'll be cancelled.
For robot hate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to apologise. I actually love robots. Some of my best mates are robots and so on.
Yeah.
Then you'd have to date a robot and be like, see, my wife's a robot.
Yeah, I can talk about that. My cousin's a robot.
My cousin's that vacuum cleaner that...
Yeah, it's a Roomba.
Mm.
My cousin's a Roomba.
Yeah.
They'll give Roombas rights. Like they'll have UN sanctioned rights and so on.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
So you just used a Roomba to clean up, did you?
Mm.
Slave.
You had a party and you all did coke and Steve knocked over a glass of rum and coke onto the floor and then you kicked the Roomba to go clean it up.
That's why it's a bad time to invest in statues.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Because you invest in a statue, like chances are something is going to come out.
What do you oh, you mean
like to build, like, they build a statue of like,
this
Winston
great
Churchill,
right,
whatever,
this great leader, this great thought, member of the community. We built a statue for them, and you've invested in the statue, and then a year later, it's like, oh no, he hated gay people, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I just feel like right now is not a good time because you build a statue of someone now. 10 years later, they're like, he kicked a Roomba.
Right.
When I was cleaning up, and that's actually robot violence.
And then they'll be like, but back in that time, it was acceptable to keep Roombas in your house and enslave them. Everybody did it. Everybody had a Roomba, and that was just part of society and so on.
You just kicked them because it was funny, and you called ChatGPT a fuckwit.
Yeah.
No, that was actually, gaslighting.
That was all recorded.
Yeah. And it's going to be used against you. And it's like, also, he ate a caged egg in 2007.
It's a funny little detail to bring up.
So that's actually helping make the decision to destroy the statue. And no one ever feels sorry for the stonemason.
Yeah, a guy who put in all the work.
Just chiseling.
Yeah. God knows how hard it is to make a statue. Someone told me that, the statue of David, he's got a small penis, like a quite small... it's like a small... Did you know that small penises were fashionable in ancient Greece, and that if you had a big dick, you were like a dickhead? Someone was telling me that.
Yeah.
I forget who now. I'm pretty sure they might. It does sound like something someone with a micropenis would say.
It does feel like you need to MRI scan their lower half just to...
Right, to make sure that it's like, are you just saying this? Because I'm going to have to check the size of your penis to...
I can't imagine that though.
Well, they thought that the small penis was aesthetically pleasing. That's why every Greek statue's got a small penis. They don't have a big porn-sized dick.
Yeah, that's
not even a medium dick. It's just like a...
That's a good point.
Yeah, they're not micro penises. It'd be crazy if they were micro penises. That was the thing.
Yeah, you had to use a micro
magnifying glass
for the people who are into detail.
Right,
there is a penis here.
Yeah, right. When you go to the museum and so on, get the magnifying glass out.
It would have been a good time to be alive back then because you'd be morbidly obese with a micro penis and be like, I am the king.
Right.
Like I'm rich enough to have big feasts, my liege, and look how small this is. It times in well with so many people now. I feel sorry for morbidly obese micro penis now because it's just the wrong... Get a time machine.
Oh, yeah. Because if you were fat in the old days, you were revered because it meant you had wealth, and they also found micro penises aesthetically pleasing, and you don't have to LARP, live action role play, whatever that stands for.
Yeah.
In the park and get bullied and so on and spat on and have meth heads kick your teeth in. You can go back in time. You're already LARPing because you're fucking back in time. So boom, get out your micro penis, my lord. Wow, this is right. Make a statue of you. It's unbelievable. And you're so fat. You must be incredibly powerful and wealthy. And he's like, oh, thanks. I used to work at Coles. He's just a regular dude. Now he's,
He's wearing a shirt with a funny slogan on it. That's genius.
What does Atari mean?
Yeah. I'm with stupid.
They always wear, Who's
stupid?
They always wear weird vintage. Yeah, it would have been a good time for morbidly obese micropenises in the ancient world, but no one ever talks about it.
That sounds like an excuse someone made. They're like, actually, in Greece.
It does sound like I'm actually trying to think of who told me that. Yeah, because I mean, I probably should say their name on the podcast. I genuinely can't remember, but it does sound suspicious.
Like the idea if you had a horse cock back then, they just put you in a funny farm.
Yeah.
But you're like, I would be doing so well later.
They want a time machine forward.
Yeah.
Ripped, a large penis. Well, the sculptor's going to be like, well, what am I meant to do with this? They're like, just make it smaller when you do it. It's like, well, I want it to be accurate. This guy's got a big dick. I think that this guy was saying that they associated big penises with stupidity.
Horsecock retard. Yeah.
I don't know.
His Christian
The
name.
more I say it, the more it sounds like someone with a micro penis is just making up history.
If I had a time machine, I wouldn't go back and kill Hitler. I'd go back and find a guy with a horsecock in ancient Greece and then bring him back to the future.
And watch how happy he is.
Yeah.
They're like, they'll pay you to have sex on camera.
Yeah. They put you in a farm, like a freak show. You come
back, come to the year 2025 and get paid in California to make fucking pornos.
We have microplastics that'll make it small again.
Is that what they say? The microplastics make you... So microplastics make you have a micro penis.
Yeah.
It's all microchips and micro penis, microplastics.
Yeah.
It's all micro now.
Yeah. I know. It's insane.
In the 80s, it was all big, technology, big penis, big... I don't know.
Yeah, it's... People love a microchip now. Although, that doesn't even make sense.
Oh shit! Might be a good place to wrap it up. Thanks for listening, everybody. I know we covered a lot of really important topics. So yeah, thanks, Rathi.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanking you.